Aloha, my babies. It's your girl T, aka the nappy-headed. Okay, can't even say my own channel name. Off to a great start. Hi guys, it's your girl T, the nappy-headed jojoba, and I wanted to come on today with a little bit of a weight loss motivation chat as we are just passing the halfway point of the Up Your Game. Nope, that's not what this challenge is called. Ooh, this is going to be a long shoot. Abracadabra, my babies. It's your girl T, aka the nappy-headed jojoba, here with a little bit of a weight loss chat slash motivation talk as we have just rounded the corner of the halfway point of Project Beast Mode. The day I'm shooting this, which ideally is the day that you will be seeing it, is Monday, February 5th. So yesterday, Sunday, was the first day of week 4 of Project Beast Mode. This is a 6-week challenge that we're doing. If you're not at all sure what I'm talking about, perhaps this is the first video of mine you're ever seeing. First of all, hey, what's up? But I will link the video where I explain what this challenge is right here, as well as in the description box, and that'll let you kind of get yourself caught up. But in any event, if you have not already joined the challenge, feel free to join now because we still have 2 weeks and change, damn near 3 weeks to go. And just as a heads up, just because of all the craziness that's been going on in my life with work and travel during the first half of this challenge, I'm personally going to be extending it by at least 2 weeks after the official close date of Project Beast Mode. So I'm going to be carrying on adhering to the rules of the challenge for a minimum of 2 weeks, possibly 3, after whatever the end date is. I can't remember. Right, so before we actually get into the talk for today, which will be brief because it's really just one thing that I want to kind of discuss with you guys, let's just do my personal check-in. And of course, as always, please check in with your own progress and experiences thus far in the comments section. If you saw my last video, you know that I was actually on a boat at the time that that went live on my channel. It was a work thing. I was working on a Walking Dead cruise. There's a cocktail show that I host for The Walking Dead. Anyway, they wanted me to host some live versions of that show on the Walking Dead Walker Stalker cruise. So that's where I was last weekend. I got back in town last Tuesday. But yeah, I'm actually going to be heading out of town again tomorrow, flying back to New Orleans, which is the same city from which the cruise left. So I'm getting a double dose of New Orleans in like less than a week and a half back to back. Nothing wrong with that as far as I'm concerned because it's my favorite city in the United States, at least out of all the ones I've visited thus far. And this second trip is actually going to be celebrating my birthday. My birthday was just this Friday, Groundhog Day. So I decided to stay at home in town for my actual birthday so I could celebrate with my friends. And then my best friend in the world, Rick, and I were going to New Orleans together. He lives in SF, I live in LA. And we are going to converge in New Orleans and we'll be there for a full week, assuming we survive. And I am beyond excited. So yeah, that is where I will be this next week. And of course, that is going to create interesting challenges for me while I am there. However, the old cliche goes, failure to plan is planning to fail. So what I've done is I've already researched a few gyms in the area that will suit my preferences and needs. And I've already figured out where I'm going to go to still hit my required 5 workouts per week. The only week that I did not hit it was the week I was on the boat. I had planned to get my 5th workout the Saturday on the boat in the little gym that was on the cruise ship. But this particular cruise encountered very rough waters and I learned something about myself, and that is that I can get seasick as fuck. Even though I had, managed to get my 4 workouts in as planned prior to leaving for the trip, I really wish I had just tried to squeeze in the 5th before that Saturday because I was completely useless. I was essentially in my bed, in my cabin all day on the boat. And even the crew, like people who have worked cruise ships for 7, 8 years, said that the waters we encountered were particularly bad on this cruise. So a lot of people got sick. A lot of people who might not normally get sick got sick. I didn't get to the point of puking, which is almost less satisfying because I feel like I might have felt better. But yeah, I really couldn't do anything. I could barely even walk. I actually did go to the gym on the boat and it took all of my strength just to get there. And I remember I got in there and I just could not even stand up straight because of the boat motion. And I sat on the weight bench for a few minutes, like trying to gather myself, couldn't do it. And I was just like, maybe I'll do something where I'm seated. So I went over to the recumbent bike, tried that. I think I got maybe 10 to 15 like pumps out on my legs, and I was just like, nah, I'm going back to my room. This is not happening. I mean, I could barely even feed myself that day. So unfortunately that week I did not hit my 5 workouts, but every other week in the challenge I had. And this week so far, we're on day 2. I worked out yesterday and today. So that's 2 down. I'm planning to work out tomorrow morning very early before I leave for the airport. And then, of course, I found a gym that I will do some drop-ins for working out while I'm in New Orleans, and that will help me finish out my 5 for the week, as well as maybe even squeeze in one more at the front half of next week before I come back to Los Angeles. That catches you guys up on how I'm doing with regard to the workouts. The eating is up and down, mainly because of celebrating, and then early on in this challenge, I was on set for a shoot for an entire week, and it was just long days and lots of sins at craft services. So I've been far, 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 far from perfect on this challenge. You know, I was eating not the best things on the cruise ship as well, mainly because of lack of options. I don't think I did terribly. I wasn't one of the people who was just like double fisting soft serve ice cream, which was easy because everything looked fucking disgusting. But yeah, I just tried to find the things that looked the least irresponsible to eat while I was on the boat, and I just had to kind of deal with that. The eating has not been perfect. The workouts have not been perfect. Perfection is folly. I think what we really are striving for here is just consistency, dedication, and progress, you know, just chipping away little by little. Which actually segues perfectly into today's talk, which is all about a huge weight loss mistake that I have made and that I don't want you to make. Those of you who have been rocking with me on this channel for quite some time have seen me go up and down in weight as I've had various life changes. I mean, I ghosted on this channel for a year plus, maybe even 2 years, because I was dealing with issues of depression, and along with that depression came some weight gain. So following that, I lost a bunch of weight. I lost around 25 pounds, and then eventually it went up to 30 to 35 pounds. And I was maintaining there, doing lots of challenges on this channel with you guys, and continuing to either maintain or even slightly improve my fitness level. Then I got my dog and also ended a 5.5, 6 year relationship inside of 1 month. So those 2 major life changes led to some significant weight gain in the tail end of 2016. So that was why in 2017 it was just like, oh wait, when did she put all those pounds on? I mean, I don't know if anyone was even like tracking it like that other than me, but it definitely was like I was looking like my before pictures from like years before. So that's the backstory on how that all happened. And I spent the majority of 2017 and continuing now into 2018 to kind of get back to where I was. I would say that I have now gotten back to where I was before those life shakeups, perhaps even excelled a bit past it. And now I'm trying to get to that lofty final goal that I've always envisioned for myself, but I've never quite been able to achieve, mainly because of me being fearful or unwilling to make the commitment to the life changes that achieving that would require. Namely things like tracking my macros, because it seems fucking tedious, and it is. So I've got all of these images of myself, just photos I've taken on my phone or whatever, where I can see how far I've come from the beginning of 2017 to now. And I look at those photos of myself and it's kind of jarring. It's a bit drastic to see just how far off the right path I had gotten, just how much I had let myself go. Here's where the mistake is. When I look at those photos, my immediate knee-jerk reaction, my impulse is to be like, oh my God, what a piece of shit. When I look at that before picture, I look at that person like, oh my God, what a sloppy swamp donkey piece of shit. Let me tell you why that's a huge mistake. That person is me. Furthermore, that person is the same person who got me to where I am today. That's the person who made those decisions. That's the person who got up early in the morning when she didn't feel like it, and when she felt tired, and when she felt sore, and when she felt unmotivated, and did it anyway, and drop by drop by drop of sweat got me to where I am now. That's the person who resisted those temptations to have pizza and cookies and pies and cake time and time again. Probably not 100% of the time, because we know I ain't perfect like that, but that is the person who had the determination and the discipline to the majority of the time, make the correct choices over the past several months, the past year, to get me to where I am today. So I have absolutely no business looking at that person saying, oh my God, what a piece of shit, because that's the person who did this. Not to say that I'm some like amazing specimen today, but I feel 100 times better. I'm happier with how my clothes look. I'm actually wearing different clothes because I have to, because I need smaller sizes now, and that feels great in and of itself. My energy is better. My mood is better. Everything about my physicality is better. I have less joint pain when I am working out. I'm more spry. I have more endurance. I'm stronger. And I would have never had any of those things without the person in that before picture. They say, I forget what the exact statistic is, but biologically, because of cell turnover, our cells only live so long. So at the end of a cycle of 6 to 7 years, all of the cells that are in your body are cells that didn't exist before that point. So physically, biologically, you are literally a new person. You have none of the cells that were alive in your body from 6 to 7 years prior, because they've all turned over and become new cells now. It's something I always like to think about, because I do enjoy the idea of constant of evolution, metamorphosis, progress, transformation. But I do think there's also a healthy way to look back at versions of yourself where maybe you weren't as happy as you are now, maybe you weren't as put together, maybe you weren't this, maybe you weren't that, but you still owe that person a gratitude for getting you out of that situation and being proactive and being assertive and making the changes necessary to get you to a better situation. And that is a weight loss mistake that I have made in the past, and that I now check myself on as soon as I start to veer into that mode of thinking. When I look at an old picture of myself where I'm heavier, I try not to be like, oh God, because yeah, like I didn't look as good, I wasn't as healthy, but that is the same me who got me out of that situation and did what I needed to do to be happier today and be healthier today and be fitter today. So don't make that mistake. Make sure that you show yourself some love and appreciation at whatever size you're at. You know, it's I'm about to say something controversial here. Shocker. I'm all about self-love, but I do not condone complacency in the face of negative behaviors like overeating, lack of exercise. I see it all the time, you know, people who are average sized or whatever, people who are naturally thin, and they're almost bragging about the fact that they don't work out. I don't think there's anything more repugnant. Everybody should be working out regardless of your size. Like if you are naturally blessed with a average frame or a thin frame, good for you. Working out is more about keeping yourself healthy and prolonging your life. What kind of bullshit is that to be bragging about not working out? That's fucking insane to me. I don't get it. It's really like, I find it to be in such poor taste. It sets a horrible example. Like I say, everyone should be working out. Everyone should be eating healthfully most of the time to the best of their ability and their budget. And when you empower yourself to commit to doing that, you can take yourself out of a situation where you were heavier, because not everybody needs to be a size 2, and I never will be. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm actually, even though I'm not at my final goal, I'm pretty happy with where I am right now. For me, it's more a matter of getting rid of some of the appearances of cellulite on the backs of my legs and just improving the overall shape of my legs. But for the most part, I've learned to create realistic goals for myself that aren't reliant on these ridiculous beauty standards given to us by, you know, media and social media and all that garbage, while still keeping it real with myself and knowing when I'm getting off the right track, I'm carrying around pounds that I don't need to have, that don't make me feel good, and that don't improve my health by any stretch of the imagination. Anyway, that is gonna do it for me today. Be sure to check in the comment section with your progress thus far in Project Beast Mode. I'm definitely going to be a lot more beastly after I get back from my little vacation after this week, and when I'm gonna have my little victory lap where I tack on that extra 2 to 3 weeks after the official close of the challenge. But I think for what I've been dealing with in terms of how hectic and demanding my schedule has been over the past 3 weeks, I've been kind of beastly. That is gonna do it. You guys, wish me luck in New Orleans, because it's gonna be Mardi Gras and me celebrating my birthday, so I may never come back, who knows, but hopefully I do, and if I do, then I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
That's some nappy-headed hose there, I'm going to tell you that now.